Well, it's been a mammoth 19 days since West Ham United last played in the Premier League, and we returned to Premier League action on Sunday live on Sky Sports in what you would probably define as a relegation six-pointer. Both sides currently sat down in the bottom stages of the table, both desperately in need of points as the Premier League season draws to its conclusion. Hope you are all well. We're here for Southampton, of course, as they take the trip up to the London Stadium to take on, of course, West Ham. Here for the preview. Firstly, Mike is joining me as ever. Mike, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, 19 stress-free days. It was quite nice.
It's been lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's been lovely. No weekends ruined, no weekdays ruined, and now we've got 9 games inside of a month. Back to normal. And Oscar's joining us, who's a Southampton fan, to give an insight on the Saints. Oscar, how are you?
Jake, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. So I'll start with you then, Oscar. Southampton season, how would you sort of sum it up in a shortened version?
Oh, for me, it's the worst. Obviously, I'm pretty young, but the worst Southampton season I think I've ever seen. Bottom of the Premier League, playing the worst football I think I've seen us play in a while. We've had 3 different managers this year. Not going well at the moment.
Ruben Sayers as manager, he's sort of like obviously you sat Nathan Jones and then he's come in and you beat Chelsea and whatever, and then he was just, well, I presume your board went, all right, you can have it till the end of the season. How have you sort of assessed what's happened with the whole managerial situation and with Ruben Sayers there at the helm for you?
I'd say I'm happy at this point. I wouldn't want him beyond the end of the season, whether we stay up or whether we go down. I'd like someone with a bit more experience in English football. He's done an all right job for someone who's never been a head coach before. He's come in. He's normally the assistant manager. Yeah, the wins against Chelsea are good, but it's just we're picking up points against teams that no one expects us to pick points up against, and the teams that we should be beating, like Grimsby, should be getting points at home against Brentford. That's just not happening, and we're playing really badly. Whether it's the pressure on the players and they expect to get some points, and home form as well is another thing. Our home form has been dismal this year. It's just if we are going to stay up this season, which I think is unlikely, that's got to change, I think.
Mike, I think it's it's a sort of story that we sort of resonate with at West Ham, is that we go to the big sides and tend to pick something up, but then when we do come up against the sides around us, then we do struggle. Southampton, as Phil says in the chat, we'll get to that in a minute. They sort of had a good run in the Premier League, and with the sort of managerial changes they've had a funny season, which obviously leaves them as they're at the foot of the table. Mike.
Yeah, though we've been a little bit different. I don't think we've picked many points up against teams above us, but we've been managing to beat the teams around us. And the difference is our home form's reasonable. It's not brilliant, but we haven't lost at home this year. So it's a little bit different for us. We're just abysmal away from home, full stop.
Yeah, and I think that's as sort of good as it got when we went down to Southampton earlier on in the season, and it's been incredibly frustrating. But when we have played at home, we've looked a little bit better with the crowd behind us when they've been awake. It's been a little bit better. But as soon as we do go away from home, Mike, as we well know, it all seems to go to pot. So that's sort of one thing we've hopefully got to take into consideration. And Oscar, it's difficult to sort of put an argument together for a side like Southampton to stay up when your home form is as dire as it has been. And yeah, as you said earlier, there is a likelihood that you will be one of the sides that go down this year. Oh, I think we've just lost Oscar there. We will try and get him back. He's just frozen. We are live, as you can see. Oh, there he is. He's back. Here he is. Are you there, Oscar?
Yeah. Sorry, Jake. But I think, if we can't beat the teams around us, we're in real trouble. I look around the league and I think of 3 teams that I think are worse than us? And even as an optimistic Southampton fan, I can't. I can maybe pick 1, 2, and especially as I'm optimistic, I just sort of look at this season and think, can I get out of it with the players we've got? We've got a young squad, not experienced. Big players aren't playing particularly well at the moment. James Ward-Prowse is not having a good season. It doesn't look good, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's so hard to predict down there, Mike, because as we've sort of spoke about for weeks and weeks and weeks, and the main phrase is to say is out of the 8 teams down there's 4 points to separate them. A couple of wins and you're up in 14th. 2 losses, you're sat at the bottom of the table. It's just and there will be more chops and changes down there, and it is incredibly difficult to predict, but it just sort of increases the importance to beat the sides around you and just gain that bit of confidence, and that's what we've got to do now. We've had a little bit of an uprising form after some dismal away from home performances. We seem to pick up points at home, and non-negotiably that's got to happen on Sunday.
Yeah, it's just we can't lose this game, can we? I mean, it's a must not lose, and would be really important to get 3 points, because we could make that jump up the table if we do get those 3 points. Yeah. But even worse would be to lose, to be totally honest. We've got those 2 games in hand, and if we got 2 draws from those 2 games in hand, we're out of the relegation zone and moved up 2 or 3 places. But those games, I'd sooner have the points on the board than those games in hand, to be totally honest.
Especially when we've got Newcastle and Man City in those 2 games.
Yeah. But I don't look at them being those 2 games that are in hand. I mean, it's the next few games that is so important for us. I think, the 3 games we got next, Southampton, Newcastle and Fulham, we got to somehow find 2 wins from those 3 games somehow. Or at least 1 win and 2 draws. Yeah.
No, I think so. We've got to, and I think the most important thing about it is just constantly picking up points, not going on a 2 or 3 game drought where you're losing and then morale gets down and then you find yourself in a difficult position. I've heard there's been a few injury worries down with you at Southampton. Oscar, can you expect a fully fit squad? What can we expect to see? Many changes?
I'd say a mostly fit squad. It'll be interesting to see whether he rests some of the players, because Bella Kotchap looks like he's out. Lavia has had injury worries this season a couple of times, has been rested. He was rested a couple of games ago, so I expect him to start, which is good for us. It's mostly fit. I think we're missing Bella. Yeah, we'll miss Bella Kotchap, and we'll definitely miss Bednarek because he went to hospital, which is our 2 centre backs really, which is I can't say I'm too horrified because we have been atrocious defensively this year, but it'll be interesting seeing 2 new centre backs who haven't played in a few weeks come and try and play. And we tried to put Maitland-Niles there against Spurs. He did quite a good job. Don't know how he'll fare against West Ham, because Tottenham did sit quite deep, so I think he liked that.
Yeah, and just to back onto that then, before I let you go, a prediction, how can you see it going?
I think based on your home form and our away form and general form, I think West Ham will win 2-1.
Oh, thank you very much indeed. So to finish off, you don't hold much confidence in you staying up and in the game?
No, not. I can't say I do. No matter how you've been doing defensively, if you've been having the same centre-back pairing for 5, 6, 7 weeks, and then they're both out like that, and the next week you got to put 2 completely new in. Yes, we've had an international break, but 2 weeks, is that going to be enough? I'm not sure. I don't think they're quite up to it. I just think our defence will be our weakness, to be honest. We got a good midfield. We got quite a good young core, I think, but proper Premier League experience is lacking, and that's why I think we'll go down. That's why I think we'll lose.
I think that's fair enough. Oscar, thank you very much indeed for joining us. I'll let you go, and good luck for the rest of the season. I hope you stay up, but not at our cost. Thank you very much.
See you there,
Yeah.
Oscar.
Yes,
Good,
Oscar,
mate.
thank you very much indeed. Let's go on to a bit of West Ham then, Mike. Obviously, we saw David Moyes' pretty uninspiring, pretty much press conference day. I won't go into it in too much detail. There's a video on the channel that I put a little bit earlier on discussing it in more detail. But to round it up, basically, we've got 3 injury worries where Skamaka felt his knee. Mike, I hope you can feel your knee there as well.
I think I can. It's not a real one.
No. And then we've got Emerson, who's got the flu, and then a guy that's got a niggly hip. Have you got a niggly hip as well, Mike?
No, hips are still okay at the moment. That's one part that's still okay with me, mate. But
not positive, is it?
I probably played about 300 games on a knee worse than Jesus at the moment.
Yeah. Overall, obviously, we've had that 19-day break. It'll be a whole 3 weeks by the time we step foot onto the London Stadium on Sunday. It's massive, isn't it?
It's huge. It's a massive game. It's one that we really do need the 3 points from, but we cannot afford to lose. You know, it's going to be cagey, but I just feel that we just got to go out and roll our sleeves up and give it a right proper go. You know, the crowd is going to be a big thing. The crowd need a lift. It'd be nice to get an early go and get the crowd up. And you never know, they could be the 12th man. I know it's been rubbish at times, the atmosphere there at times this year, but then again, the abysmal performances have probably
doesn't help it, does it?
You know, it doesn't help it at all. Yeah. So I think, to be totally honest, we had 11 players, was it, go out on international duty. So I'm not shocked that 2 or 3 have come back with niggles. I wouldn't be shocked if 2 of those are probably in the squad, if not all 3.
Smoke and mirrors is always a factor that David Moyes puts into it, and you know the sort of vagueness that Moyes always portrays when he sort of talks about these injuries and a niggly hip, a bit of an illness, and what was the other ones?
A bit of an illness, a bit of a sore knee, and a niggly hip. No. And a broken eyelash here and there.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's just trying to play the mind games. Let's see. We've got in the chat, Phil. Hope you are well. He says Southampton have had a good run in the Premier League in the last 10 years, but I think it's time for the Saints to march back into the Championship. I see what you did there, Phil.
Very good. He's on it tonight, Phil. Well done, mate.
He's on it. Sharky, hello to you. I hope you are well. Daniela says yes. It is a 6-pointer, but 3 teams at the bottom will be dropping points. Maybe 6 teams. It'd be a shock if Leeds get anything at Arsenal, and I disagree. And I disagree. The games in hand as a second change as well. I think with those games in hand, obviously, if we can get a point against Newcastle, I think that would be good. I'd take a point off of you now for that Newcastle game if we win here on Sunday. So you know, it's all about what's going to happen in these games, and it's just incredibly hard to predict it all. Really, Lawrence, I hope you are well. West Ham to win 3-0. I love your undesired positivity. I like it. Phil says never really a surprise with the injury concerns nowadays. Any kind of victory is important. It certainly is. Daniela says one can see the crowd could do with lifting the team. It's an interesting sort of discussion to have because we'll both be there on Sunday, Mike, and I can see it turning not very nice, as we've said, for quite a few home games if things don't go to plan. And you know that's just I think the normality of what we could see there. But if we could get an early goal, as you said,
I can, Jake. But I think if we can get an early goal, or we can get out of the blocks and get the crowd up a little bit, and even if we are struggling a bit, the crowd have just got to stick in there. I know what they can be like. It can be very fickle at times, but I'm afraid people have just got to get behind them, and hopefully we get some out of this. If we're a goal down, we still got to get behind them, and because if a point is really not a lot of good for Southampton, is it?
No, I don't think a point
it
necessarily.
Ain't great for us. Don't get me wrong. We need 3. Don't get me wrong there, but I think a point for them. They're going to say away from home, decent point, blah blah blah. But they need to start winning, don't they? Same as us.
Yeah, I don't think that a point does each side, necessarily
Neither are
too
good.
many favours, really,
No.
when you look at it. But in terms of sort of the crowd and the thing, and the issue that I have is that in every single press conference, it seems, without fail, somebody mentions how we need the crowd behind us. We need the crowd behind us. People pay the money. We need to be entertained here. I pay the money. You pay the money, Mike. All of you pay the money to fund it. And we're seeing and we're constantly being told that we need to support them and we need to get them up. Come on, you should be getting yourselves up in a relegation battle, and we need to scrap.
Yeah, it's a two-way thing. It's a two-way thing. We got to bounce off each other, the crowd and the team. So like I say, we pay the money. We expect the least we expect is people out there giving it 150%. I'm like I said a few weeks ago. You go back to 2007 when we stayed up that year. I saw players, gritting their teeth, rolling their sleeves up and saying, come on, let's give this a go. And they didn't have the ability. Well, I don't think there's nowhere near the ability of what this squad has got. So, that is the least we expect to see is,
But that's the difference between these two sides as well, though, because if you look at that side in 2007, I'm going to make you look old now, Mike. I was born that year. But you look at it, and that team, they scrapped. They did what all of these teams around us are doing. They're fighting for their lives. Most of them, not all of them, most of them are fighting for their lives, picking up wins against Liverpool, making sure they're constantly picking up the points. I don't see where this scrapping, rolling up the sleeves and fighting is really coming from some of these players, because I think, Moyes seems to be in this whole sort of like different world where he keeps saying these press conferences. He said today, I haven't really worked out the relegation situation. We haven't played for 3 weeks. The least you could do is work out the situation. Right. We really need to pick up points here and look at this here, and maybe we can afford to not pick up anything there. But yes, he said, I haven't really looked. It's a really relaxed mentality to have when we are in a very big and deep relegation battle.
Well, he was saying not so long ago, wasn't he? We still got a chance for Europe. That's not that long ago. He was saying that.
He's in his own world.
We were all going, hang on a minute. We're 5 from the bottom of the league at whatever then. I mean, hey, let's be realistic here. Without 2 or 3 wins in a row, we're struggling. And we haven't had 2 or 3 wins in a row. So we are struggling, full stop.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take some more of your comments and see what you guys are saying. We'd definitely take 4 points out of the next 2 games. I'd snatch it out of your hands right now, because I think that takes us away a little bit, and that would be overall for the club. I think that'd be massive. If the players can perform in front of us, we would get behind them. Exactly as as Mike, you said, it works 2 ways. You can't expect us constantly to put our unrivaled and full support in if what we're seeing is crap, and that's what it's been. But what we've got to hold on to is our home form has been a lot better than our away form. It couldn't have been much worse, otherwise we would have already been relegated. Mathematically, I'm not very good at maths, but I've worked that one out. And we've got to give the fans something to shout about, and it's every single time. And Oscar said a little bit earlier on, he said that Spurs sort of sat back and let us come on, and that's exactly what we're going to do. If we go off what we've done in the past, that's exactly what we're going to do. But wouldn't it be nice if we came out and we didn't do that stupid let's pass it back to the centre half and lump it up to lose it, and then we've got to go again. Let's get the ball, let's get it to Paqueta, let's run, let's play football on the floor, let's play some free flowing football. Try saying that with after you've had a few, and go for it a bit, and really let the shackles off of these players that have got the they haven't got the confidence, have got the quality there. For example, it would be nice if we fired up the blocks and not let Saints roll it around at the back for 5 minutes, not let them go. Southampton, I've been great this season. Why don't you have 5 minutes just to associate yourselves with things and make sure you're all right, and then we'll start playing. All right, no, we've got to make it difficult for sides coming and not put ourselves on the back foot straight away, Mike. Yeah,
we got to be brave. And, like I saw in what was the last game at home, the ball come across the 18-yard box. Paqueta had a chance to drive his boot through it and try a shot, and he ends up trying to make a pass out wide. I'm thinking, come on, man. I know there's a lack of confidence there, but come on. Shake yourself up. Be brave. Have a go. Have a shot. If you don't buy a ticket, you ain't going to win the lottery. You've got to try more shots, better crosses, more quality in and around the box, and at least, try and put the other team on the back foot instead of passing all along the flipping back and
you think
sideways.
as well, the thing that sums it all up is that we try and score the perfect goal and pass it around. Don't put the ball in the box straight away. Don't shoot straight away. The only goal that's led to a Premier League win in this season so far for West Ham has come from a fluky shot from outside of the box, a hit and hope from Pablo Fornals. Me and you were both there, Mike, at Villa. Yeah. That's our only win away from home all season, where Fornals went, you know what, sod it, I'm going to shoot. And he scored, and it got us 3 points. If we didn't have them 3 points, God knows where we'd be now.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a bit of positive attitude to go, and you know what, I'm going to hit this, and then never know, I might go in.
Yeah, exactly.
Bit of positivity. Of positivity, but hey ho. Lawrence says that West Ham need points and goals and some belief. That's what we need. It's down to the management and the players now as well. The team plays. We can't play football for them. We can pump our money in as much as you want, but we can't be the ones on the pitch putting it into the back of the net. They've got to go out there and prove their worth, not only to the club but to potential buyers in the summer for some of them. Daniela says,
I mean, there's careers as well, Jake. There's careers hanging on the line. Okay. There might be some that have a longer career if we go down, which is works the opposite way around. But joking aside, there is people that wanted to try and prove themselves in the Premier League that have come and played for us. So far, they haven't.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where things have got to change. And we have picked up 5 points in the last 5 games. Leicester and Palace have only picked up 1 point for us, 2 points in the last 5 games. Let's try and keep this going. Jake, when have you had a few? Good point. 36 points needed. If I just have a look at the Premier League table, what the current surroundings are. So 36 points means that we need to get what we are now, 24. So we need another 12 points, 4 wins. 4 wins from the remaining, what is it? Is there 12
games? Yeah.
12 games left, 4 wins. Bournemouth, Southampton, Palace away. Got to be winning these games. And then maybe a shock win to
Newcastle.
Leicester.
Newcastle is one that we could pick up points from.
Leicester final day of the season. It might come down to that.
Well, it could do. But I hope it doesn't. I hope we got it done and dusted by then.
It's going to be a long trip up the Leicester.
I mean, 3 wins and 3 draws. That is 6. That's only half of those 12 games.
Yeah,
that we've actually got to do something positively in.
Exactly.
If you don't, Jake, if you can't do that, then you deserve to go down. Full stop.
Yeah. And somebody mentioned this earlier on. They said if we don't win Sunday, we don't deserve to stay up. We've been, and we have been dire amongst all the sides down there. But if we can't beat the side around us like Southampton at home, then we probably do deserve to go. Who starts up front, Mike?
I'd go back with Ings.
Ings, yeah. I'd play Ings, but you've got to get somebody close to him. I mean, I'm fed up of sitting here watching nobody within 50 yards of him. I'm fed up.
If you're playing Ings, then Paqueta's got to get right up there alongside him. He's got to play further up the pitch. Or, this is going to sound a bit controversial, Antonio, Ings and Bowen.
Why don't Moyes mix things up a bit? He's had 19 days, right?
They would not be expecting that, would they?
No.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't take a miracle worker for their analysts to sit there and go right there in the last couple of weeks. What do West Ham do? Watch 3 of our games and know exactly what we do. We set up in the same sort of way. We play the same sort of football. Hoof it up. Doesn't work. We don't change it. That's what we do. But if we mix things up a bit, maybe change the formation, don't go 5 at the back, but change the formation in a positive way, get somebody close to the strikers around there. And as Oscar highlighted earlier on, with their defensive, fragilities this season, and especially with their starting centre-halves out, rusty, perhaps not as fit and not as able as perhaps the other ones that they may have had available if they would have wanted. They've got defensive issues there. So why don't we go out and attack and exploit them?
Yeah, that's why I say Antonio, really, because against, a couple of centre-halves who've not really put any partnership together and, not got a lot of experience in the Premier League, you wouldn't want him like Antonio if he's having a good day, would you? I think, he could rough him up a little bit.
Yeah. And let's just hope that we've got that bit of positivity out there. Chris, come in, a fellow relegation battler. Please play out a draw, guys. And I don't think that does any of us any favours.
No.
Us two, obviously Leicester, that would be quite a good result in the end. But there are going to be these 6 pointers around where teams are going to be playing teams around us, and there's 2 on the final day of the season, which include us against yours truly, Chris. Might come down to that. Skamaka, if he's fit, says Jay Woods, this game should be attack. Well, it would be if we didn't have old Dave in charge, wouldn't it? I think a win would be so good for the dressing room. It's well overdue. I 100% agree. Let's just hope so. I can see us beating Liverpool at home in May. Both Manchester teams may have a cup final to play. I tell you what, if we beat Liverpool, that would just sum up West Ham this season. We've been crap and then we go and beat Liverpool.
I could see us getting something against Liverpool. I really could, because they've not been great away from home.
They haven't been great, no.
And we could pick a point out there.
Yeah, exactly. Chris, let's hope so. Let's hope we're both playing against each other in the Premier League next season. Prediction then, Mike, what are you going for?
Well, I think Oscar took mine, really, but yeah, I would honestly. That's what I was going to say. 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1.
Yeah,
we'll go with that. I'm going to go. I don't know, actually. 2-1's the obvious one. I'm just going to say we're going to win it 1-0, second half goal. It's going to be the striker on the pitch that scores. I'm not going to say which, but the striker that is on the pitch will score the goal. And we will just about hold on. It's not going to be pretty or nice whatsoever, but it's going to be a hard earned and a massive 3 points as we take it home, as we go back and come again Wednesday, straight off again against Newcastle, and then Fulham. A game where we could be looking to try and pick up a point away from home, which has been pretty hard to come by. But it's just about keeping up this positivity. Sharky, great minds think I like 1-0 home win. Crystal Palace 9 out of the 10 games versus relegation teams. Wow. So they've got that run. 3-2 West Ham, says G. He's going for a 5-goal, maybe a thriller, maybe some defensive nightmares in there. But yeah, we'll join you for some matchday content road trip on the way up to the London Stadium for us on Sunday, the vlog, and of course after the game content coming out as hopefully we're talking about a West Ham win, Mike.
Hopefully, mate. Fingers crossed.
So just a couple of things I want to say before, obviously, as most of you will know over on the West Ham Network, currently as we speak, the 24-hour Irons Putting Food Banks Bring a Quid campaign launching live stream is going on over there. Some great interviews going on over there over the next, 20 hours that's left. So go dip in and out if you want over the next 20 hours. I will be there, taking over, causing havoc for an hour between 11 and 12 tomorrow morning. So please come and join me for that. We're going to have a very interactive, nice chat about West Ham, a few tricks up my sleeve, as I always do. So make sure you join me for that tomorrow and for the remainder of it on over the West Ham Network. And, the main message to take out of it is, if you're going to London Stadium in the next month in April, is to bring a quid to help out the food banks and help people less fortunate out there in the East End of London. But yeah, that's it from us. Thank you very much, Mike.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Yeah, looking forward to it. Nervously, but looking forward to it.
Nervously awaiting the game on Sunday. Have a good trip up tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll see you soon at some point. But yeah, from us, come on, you Irons, and we'll catch you soon right here on West Ham. Thank you very much. Mike, the final word goes to you.
Hey, massive 3 points. Let's go and get them. Come on, you Irons.
Brilliant.